Hello. So it has been about a month since I went to go see BTS live, and I feel like I finally have the time and the ability to tell you about the whole experience because it was truly a 2-week endeavor, and I need to take out my retainer. This is gonna sound annoying. I have all my notes right here so that I don't forget anything that happened, but I will probably forget something that happened because it was genuinely 2 weeks of just seeing BTS and being in Vegas. So if there are clips sprinkled in that are clearly not filmed from this session, then that is why, because there was a lot that happened. But we're gonna get into it. Just like with Permission to Dance LA, we cannot start with the trip. We have to start in the lead up to the trip because that impacted a lot of what happened. Can these birds shut up? Thankfully, I did not decide to go get new outfits. I could have done that. I did casually window shop for possibly new outfits for this tour, but I was like, it's the same era, it's the same tour, and I don't want to have to spend more money on a whole new outfit that may or may not come to fruition in time. I'm just going to try to take these outfits that I already have, the ones that I like, and I'm going to improve upon them. And unlike with LA, where I needed all 4 outfits all at once, I was able to get my outfits for the first week, come back home, like wash them, dry clean them, and then bring them back. So I only really needed 2 outfits because I could wear the same 2 outfits for the first week and the second week. Because Sam is sadly an outfit repeater, because sometimes my outfits are amazing and they deserve to be seen more than once. So I decided on wearing my butter outfit because everybody loves that outfit. I always get so many compliments when I wear that one. And my black like chain one, specifically because if you saw the Permission to Dance Seoul concerts, JK and his jacket was truly a sight to be seen. A beautiful moment in time when his jacket just really didn't understand the concept but failed successfully, if that makes any sense. I don't want to spoil it in case you haven't seen it because it truly is a thing that needs to be experienced. It was a wonderful time. But that outfit was always just a little bit missing because I don't know if I talked about this in my Permission to Dance LA video. You can go watch that and figure it out for yourself. I'm not going to watch it. But the idea was that it was supposed to be an homage to their fake love outfits, like with the black jackets and the chains all around it, because I really liked that look when I first saw it. And it's also fake love. That section of the show is my favorite, with the Black Swan, Blood, Sweat and Tears, and Fake Love. Those 3 songs I love so much, and just the outfit is perfect for it, and I loved it so much. So this outfit was an homage to that. But when I wore it in LA, it just wasn't 100% perfect because I did I don't know if I knew it at the time, but like looking back on it, I definitely wanted the chains to be silver because their chains are silver, and I feel like the gold in theory looks nice, but also like because my earrings I think that I wore with it were also silver, I just don't like the clashing of it. I wanted it to be one cohesive look. And also I was always trying to find a body chain for it. I definitely mentioned this. I was always trying to find a body chain to go with the outfit because they wear body chains in their look, and I feel like it would just have tied the whole look together, and I wasn't able to find one in time. So the outfit was always just sort of like 80 to 90% there, but like I was like, for this concert I need to be 100% there. It was not 100% there, but we got it kind of sort of the way there because I was like, okay, we need to turn these chains into silver, and I didn't have enough time to like completely replace the chains to find like replacements for them and just like swap them out. So I was like, okay, so what we need to do is we need to just color it silver. And I decided this maybe 3 to 4 days before I had to leave, because time management is just not my forte. And also, if you've been watching my update videos, I had been gone for most of this month. Like 2 weeks before my first Las Vegas trip, I was out of town with family, and then the week before it, I was out of town with a friend. So truly, like all of my free time leading up to these concerts, I had none of it because I was literally jet setting everywhere, and I was not home to like work on these outfits. So I really did have like 3 or 4 days to really like sort of pump these up to the next level. It's not 100% there, but I have found a way to get it 100% there. So the next time I wear it, it's going to be incredible because this outfit is almost perfect. It's almost perfect, and I know if I could just fix it a little bit more, it's going to be perfect, and then I will wear it everywhere all the time. But I was able to make a body chain. I bought chains, I think at Joann Fabrics, and I clipped them all together with some chokers that I had bought, ironically BTS themed chokers from Hot Topic. And I don't want to spoil the outfit, but like here's the outfit. There is clearly like there's a chain around my neck and then a one that goes lower because I wanted to like sort of combine a lot of the body chain elements from the ones that the boys were already wearing. So like some of them have like a choker one, some of them have like a lower choker one, and then most of them have one like going down the center and then around the waist. And I think Jin's had like a twisted element in the middle of the body chain that goes down the chest. So I wanted to take some of that. And I think V has the one where it's the choker and the lower neckline, so I added both of those together, and then I have a chain that's twisted in the middle, and then it goes down and around the waist. The way you have to wear it is very complicated. Like, you can't put this outfit on in a different order than the way that you put it on, because it's all sort of connected together, and if you put it on in the wrong order, it's not going to look right, it's not going to fit. It's not like, oh, I could put the body chain on after I put on the outfit. No, because the outfit is connected, because as you can see in the pants, there's already like a chain built into the pants. That's why I really liked it, because I was like, oh, the chain, body chain element. But the body chain, the best way to have it is it's looped in and connected to the chain that's connected to the pants. So you have to put on the pants, and then you have to put on the body chain, then you have to put on the jacket. Because you wear the body chain kind of like a backpack, where like there's a chain down the center, and then there's two chains that loop around like your shoulders and your body. It doesn't like clip in the back. I'm thinking of trying to add a clip so that it clips behind your back, but also it fits and looks nice the way it already is. So I'm like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But yes, I made that body chain, and then I bought a silver spray paint to spray the chains that were already on the jacket. This ends up being a bad idea, because the paint, even though I gave it like 24 hours to dry, never fully dries, and I think because it's like on my skin and it's rubbing against my clothes, it rubbed off so quickly. Like by week 2, because I did not have time to respray paint it in between week 1 and week 2 for reasons I will get into later. But it was just like so clearly gold at the end, by the end of week 2, that I was like, we need to just scrap this idea. We need to just replace the chains. And I found replacement chains online that look exactly the same, just in silver. So once I change and complete that and remove like the residue spray paint from the jacket, it's gonna look incredible. But if you did not know all of that, this outfit would have been incredible. This outfit is iconic, and truly this is the ideal image. When I was like imagining my BTS outfit for LA, this is the image that I had in my mind, with the body chain and the silver and everything, and it just looks incredible. And I'm very proud of it, and I think that it did not get enough attention. Anyways, I don't think this outfit got enough attention, because I wasn't at the stadium that long, and not enough people complimented me on it, so we're gonna put it on here, because I need y'all to get into it Doja Cat style, because it's kind of fucking iconic. This is my main character moment. Like, look, first of all, let's acknowledge the fact that these button and this chain were all gold, like a couple days ago, but I spray painted them silver so that it would go with the look. If you've seen JK's look, okay, I will post a photo of JK's look after this so that you understand the homage that this is being paid to. But I made this body chain. I'm also wearing it with, can you see it, heels. So I'm living a full iconic moment. It is just truly the best look. I've never looked better. We also have the earrings. I put so much time and effort into this outfit, and I look incredible, and I don't think enough people gave me attention for it. So you all will. In my mind, it's a very clear homage to the fake Love outfit. I don't know if everybody else gets that image, but I was very happy with it, especially since JK has such an iconic outfit with it, like with the jacket that's like clearly unbuttoned, and it's just like one button hanging on, and my jacket only has one button. I just feel like it was clearly, in my mind, I can see the vision. I don't know if everybody else can. That being said, when I show up night 1 in that fucking outfit and I see JK walk on stage with a different jacket, pissed me the fuck off. Because, like, I get it. I understand why you would do that. But also, like, I put this whole outfit together with paying an homage to JK and his fucking jacket, and then you want to change it on me? That was annoying. But it's okay, because I still look great. I was also supposed to get the butter, dress jacket that I had tailored. I wanted also it to get tailored for LA, but I did not have time for that, and I did not have time for this trip as well, because again, I had like 3 or 4 days. I tried to get it to not my usual tailor, because my usual tailor is just like so far away, and I did not want to make the drive, and I was like, I know there are some tailors in the area, let's see if any of them are open, and none of them were open, which was great. Because I know that they are open at other days, because I've been there like before when they are open, but apparently just like on the days that I was free, they just were closed. So I could not get it tailored, so it was still just a little bit too big, and I don't love the way that it fits. It feels like it needs to be a little bit more fitted, but it's okay because the outfits still look good. Now, if this wasn't enough, stressing out about the outfits and stressing out about this trip in general because I was going to Las Vegas, which I'd never been to before, by myself because I was supposed to go with my friend, but she ended up not being able to go. So it was just me by myself. And I had not been on like a true solo trip, like 100% by myself, like ever before. So it was a whole new experience, which like I wasn't worried about going by myself because I was like, I know how to keep myself safe. I'm not an idiot. But it's just, I feel like there was a lot of residual anxiety coming from my family members about me going on this trip, and that really seeped into my subconscious. Because my whole grandmother wanted to have this whole lecture about being like, but if somebody says that they have BTS merchandise, you can't just like get into their car. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm an adult with cognitive thinking skills that is able to deduce unsafe situations. So it's just a lot of that energy, and it wasn't good. Especially because I knew because of the merch situation in LA that I needed to show up a day early to Las Vegas if I wanted to get merch. Because there was no way that I was going to show up like Friday, Saturday, or even week 2 and get the merch that I wanted. Because I bought my ticket with this in mind, that I was going to fly out so I could get there Thursday morning to get merch the first day that it opened. Because like in LA and like in Seoul, the merch stand opens the day before the concerts start. And I knew that they were going to do this, so I bought my ticket with this in mind. I did not know for sure that this is what they were going to do, but they ended up doing it, so it all ended up working out. But I did not know what merch was going to be available by the time that I had done this. If I had known the merch that was available there when I bought this ticket, I would not have shown up a day early, because all of the good merch that was sold out that I wanted in LA was not in Vegas. And I get into this in another clip, but point is I had to show up a whole day early to get this merch because I was determined to not fuck it up again. Because I had made the mistake of not showing up early for LA and I missed out on merch, and that really upset me. And I was like, I'm not going to do this again. So I had to leave Wednesday night so that I could get there Thursday morning. Problem is I'm supposed to work on Wednesday, and I wanted to use as little paid time off as possible. I wanted to work as much as I could so that I minimize the amount of money that I am losing on this trip. So I told my boss, I was like, I cannot come in Wednesday for my swing shift that I usually come in on because I have a flight. But I could come in the morning if you need me to. Truly hoping that they would be like, no, we have coverage, you are fine. But they did in fact have me come in Wednesday morning, which was not my favorite. Because that meant I would have to wake up super early on Wednesday so I could get to work, and then I would get off at 3 to catch a flight at 9 p.m. And of course, because of the outfit stressing and not knowing what I needed to pack ever, because I never know what I need to pack, and because I was flying Southwest, and I never flown Southwest before, but they allow you 2 free check bags. And I was like, well, if I'm buying a bunch of merch, I need to bring the 2 free check bags so that I can bring all the merch back. In theory, I should have done this for the second week because I bought a lot more merch the second week than I did the first week, and I was like, that would have been really useful. But point is, I had not packed at all. So I get off work at 3, I get home at like 4, and I start packing because I need to leave for the airport in like 2 hours. This was a horrible time, like anxiety-wise. I was super anxious, like worrying that I'm going to forget something really important. Because I have a lot of like elements to these outfits. I need to remember to bring my army bomb and get batteries and blah, 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 blah. And just making sure that I had everything that I needed, and it was very stressful. And I think this is where my body sort of started breaking down, because I was truly like about to go into a panic attack, and I'm like, we don't have time for this, I have to pack. So I ended up having to take some like over-the-counter anti-anxiety medication, because I was like, I need to just calm the fuck down so that I'm able to just continue packing, because I need to like get packed. So I don't miss my flight. And also my grandmother was driving me to the airport, and she was like really on edge about like me being late, and she kept being like, are you ready? And I'm like, you're not being helpful, please stop yelling at me to hurry up. I'm already knowing that I need to hurry up. And this medication really fucked with me because I never taken it before. I took a very, very, very low dosage of it though, so it really shouldn't have fucked me up as much as it did, but it really did fuck me up. But it lowered my anxiety. I was able to get fully packed, and I made it to the airport with barely enough time. Because I did not expect TSA to take so long. I usually take flights like in the afternoon or in the morning when like there's a lot of staff there and like security takes maybe like 20-30 minutes. I was in line in TSA for like an hour. And I was like, I've never waited this long to get through the security at the airport. It took so long, and it was so annoying and stressful. Because I was like, I think my flight was like boarding at like 9:40 or something, and it was even delayed 15 minutes. So like, if I think it was at the regular time, I would not have made it. But And I was like high in the boarding group too. So I was like, I need to get there early because like Southwest doesn't have like assigned seating. It's just sort of like first come, first serve. So I'm like, if I want a good seat, I need to be like closer to the front in line. The distance between the security gate checkpoint and like my actual gate for my flight was so far. Oh my god, I cannot stress this enough. I don't want to exaggerate and say half a mile because I don't actually know how far half a mile is, but like I was in like, I think my gate was like B14 and I was like around the C gate. So I had to run from, once I got out of security, to run from like the C gates to the B gates and then like this giant hallway running down all the numbers because like B14 was like the last one. It was all the way at the end of this like giant hallway and it just took so long and I was so stressed being like, oh my god, I'm gonna miss my flight. But I made it on the flight. I had a whole row to myself. It was lovely. The flight attendants were really like personable and fun and being like, oh my god, who's ready to go to Vegas? And everybody was like, woo. And it was a cute, fun time. And I made it and I got onto my flight. At this point, I have been awake for like 15 hours, running on maybe 5-ish hours of sleep. Just keep that in mind because it does not get better from here. I get out of the plane, I get out of the airport, I go to my rental car. Now, my rental car was not originally in this plan. I just assumed that I was going to be Ubering everywhere, even though people are like, oh my god, Uber just takes so long, you're going to be waiting for an Uber. But I was like, I don't have the money to, like, rent a car in Vegas because this trip is already very expensive with the flights being like $400. I feel like that's a normal price for a flight, but in my mind, I go to just like LA all the time and I'm like $200, maybe $250. But I got my rental car because once my mother figured out I was going out by myself, she was like, I insist that you get a rental car. You have to be like safe. You can't rely on all these Ubers. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll get a rental car. So I went, I got my rental car, and then I headed to check in at my hotel. And now my hotel was like empty. This was like Thursday morning. It was like midnight, 1 a.m. at this point, and my hotel was like empty. There were like no cars in the parking lot. I was like, oh my goodness. So like, I guess this is just not a hotel that like Army decided to stay at, because like hotels were like booked throughout Vegas, and I was pretty close to the Strip, so, and it was really, really cheap, and this place had no resort fees. So I was like, oh, okay, so this is going to be a place where a lot of people are going to be booking for their stays. But there was like nobody there when I got there, and I was like, oh my god, so like it's going to be pretty empty this whole time? No. By the time that the concerts rolled around, oh my god, it was hard to find parking. And the parking lot was huge for this hotel. And I was like, okay, I guess I just showed up extra early. I didn't think I was showing up that early. Like a day before the concert? Like that's not that early. So I thought there would be a lot of people there, and there were not. But there were very quickly a lot of people there. I was also really stressed out because when I had originally booked this hotel, it had horrible reviews. And I couldn't tell if they were like actual bad reviews being like, oh, this place is actually horrible, or if they were just like really bougie people expecting this 1-star hotel to be like better than it actually was. And like my standards for hotels are very, very low. I once stayed at this hotel where there were just like bugs everywhere. And I hate bugs, but there weren't any bugs like in my bed or in my room. So I was like, oh, this is fine. They were just like all on the windows and everywhere else. We were in the middle of like the desert. I think we were in like between Southern and Northern California. And my mom was so grossed out that she made us leave. But I was asleep. So cozy, asleep in the bed. And I think that's where my standards really sit, where I'm like, as long as I can lay in this bed and there are no active bugs or people trying to kill me and break into my room, I am good. I don't expect literally anything else. My room didn't even have a chair. It had one bed. No, it had 2 beds. No chair. That was it. And a lot of people in the reviews were like, this place is horrible, it's so nasty, and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, are these people overreacting, or is it actually horrible? These people were overreacting. The place was fine. I feel like also my standards are just very low. I'm used to a lot of 1-star hotels, because if you want to do a lot of traveling, you just sort of have to go with the cheapest options available. That's usually like a Super 8, a Motel 6, a Howard Johnson. So I've gotten used to like, this is the standard of hotels that I pay for. So if the bed is clean and the door locks, I'm fine. And it did, so I was fine. And the hotel people put me like right next to the ice machine and like right really close to like the parking lot, and I was like, this is perfect. I literally could not ask for more, especially since they had no resort fees and let me book a hotel with them. And I was just like, oh, it was a good time. Was it the nicest, best hotel I've ever been to? No, it was very, very, very bare bones. But I was spending very minimal time in the hotel. That's what I don't understand. Like, why do you want to invest so much money in the hotel if you're going to the city? I'm spending very little time in my hotel room. It's just sort of to keep my things and to go to bed. And then I wake up and then I leave. So it seemed weird to me that like that people were just like really truly overreacting in the reviews. That place was fine. But that also taught me a really valuable lesson that I could probably stay at really shitty hotels and be absolutely fine. Because a lot of the times my mom, when she's like checking out hotels for us, she's like, it has to have over like a 7-star user review, but like this one had like maybe a 5 or 6. And I'm like, so we could really just like bring it down. I really want to see where my limit is, to see how much money I can save before I'm like, okay, this is too much. Because I honestly think that I'll just be fine anywhere. But regardless, the hotel was honestly great, and the people who worked there were really nice. I tried to vlog a little bit on this trip. I'm not good at that because I'm truly a person who lives in the moment. I forget to take photos and I forget to take videos of everything, so I'm just like sort of experiencing and like living in the moment. But then I end up forgetting everything that happens because I have a very bad memory. But I did film this little clip of when I got to the hotel that you could see. Hello, it is, actually I don't even know what time it is because the clock isn't plugged in. I assume it is 1 a.m. 1:30 a.m. Let's open my laptop. Let's see what it says. It is 1:40 a.m. I have officially arrived in Vegas. I'm in Las Vegas. I brought my whole recording setup thingy to do some vlogging this weekend before I realized that the mic doesn't connect to my phone with the case on, and I don't want to keep taking the case off. So if the sound sounds bad, I don't care. You're just gonna have to deal with it. I'm here all by my lonesome because I forgot to make it, but it is okay. We will survive. Life goes on. When I was at the airport, it was truly hitting me that I'm going to see BTS. I'm very, very excited. I will need to be going out to go get merch soon. I'm trying to consider, I think I'm going to go like roll around the merch area to see if there's like somewhere I can camp out, because if there's people already camping out, then like I'm going to go camp out. But also now I have a rental car, which was not originally part of the plan, but my mother insisted that I get one, so I would have to find somewhere to park that and then walk to the merch area, because I don't think that the parking opens until 7, 8. So I might just, you know, sleep and then wake up and then go then, but you know, I have plenty of time today. I showed up a whole day early. I showed up, concerts on Friday. I showed up on Thursday morning, because I knew that they were going to do this merch thing, and I was like, I'm not going to take my chances. But like a lot of the merch that they have for Vegas is not the same merch that they had for LA. Like a lot of the cute merch in LA, like the berets, the bucket hats, the cropped like peach hoodie, are just like not here, and those were things that I very much wanted to get and were not able to get, but now they're not even available. And like all of the merch that I really wanted, like the blanket, I've already bought online on Weavers because they put them all on Weavers. So now I'm like, maybe I just don't push too hard to get this merch, you know. So I'm gonna see what the Allegiant Stadium, because they have like a whole know before you go thing, and they had a section for merchandise, but they were also like, we're gonna fill this section eventually, come back and check for updates. So we're gonna see what happens. I still have not sold the tickets. I don't think I'm gonna be able to sell the day 1 tickets, knock on wood, but I think I can sell the rest of them, and that's like a very small loss compared to the big, large loss I could lose right now. So fingers crossed. I'm going to chill out, probably vlog some more along this trip, and it'll be fun. I'm so excited, but I'm also very tired, so I feel like in order to have the most successful day tomorrow, I should just like sleep now and then just like wake up early. But also like waking up early has never been my forte. I'm very much a I'll sleep when I'm dead sort of person. I am like a quadruple, quintuple, sextuple Sagittarius. So it might be a little bit of that, but we'll see. I will update you. As I explained in that clip, I'm about to go to the merch line because it's like 1 a.m. And I know that merch opens at 10, but I know that there are definitely people already waiting in line for merch. I was far from the first person in the merch line. I didn't get to the merch line until like 4 though, because I was like, okay, well, first of all, I want food because I have not eaten at all today. I think I ate before or at work, and then I had not eaten for the rest of the day. So I was like, I definitely need some food. And then I probably need some like snacks or water for when I'm sitting in line, because I had prepared to wait this merch line, because I was like, should I get one of those like collapsible like stool chairs that I see people have in the merch line? But then but my mom was like, you already have something like that. It's like a half bag, half like fold out chair. And I was like, yeah, I'll just put that in my suitcase and it'll be fine because I don't want to have to spend any more money on this trip than I need to. So I just packed that with me because I was fully prepared to sit and wait in that merch line for hours. But this, I think, was the most physically and mentally taxing experience that I've ever had because I leave my hotel, I go pick up just like a quick order at Denny's because it was nearby my hotel. And then I drive and I need to find parking because, again, I had anticipated that I was going to be Ubering to this merch stand and I would be able to just like not have to worry about having to park anywhere. I would just have my stuff and then I would Uber back to my hotel. But no, I now need to find somewhere to park. And obviously there's no parking available for the merch area because they didn't anticipate anybody lining up prior to when the merch opened, which didn't make any sense to me. I'm like, how did you not warn these people that this is what we were going to do? So there was no parking available and I did not want my car to get towed. That was also another high thing of anxiety that I was feeling at the time. I was like, if I get my rental car towed, I'm absolutely fucked. Because I didn't want to park somewhere where I wasn't allowed to park, but I couldn't tell where parking was open and available because there was a gas station across the street from where the people were lining up for merch, where the merch stand was going to be, and I couldn't tell if like the like lanes for the parking were like open because there was no sign saying no parking there, but also it's like a private business, so it's like implied that if you can't park there, you don't park there. Also, I was trying to go to one of these gas stations to get like a water or something because when I ordered my food from Denny's, I was like, okay, well, I need to just like get a bottle of water or something because I'm probably going to be there a while and I want to stay hydrated and I also want some snacks. So I'm just going to get my drinks and my snacks at the gas station. The gas station across the street from the merch line where I was anticipating on going was not open. They were closed specifically from 2 to 4 a.m. and it was 2 a.m. when I got there. So I couldn't go there. So I had to drive out of my way to go to a 7-Eleven to go get the stuff and come back. And then I still had to decide where the fuck to park my car. I decided, I was thinking, should I just park it in this gas station parking lot? But I knew that I was going to be there at least until 10 a.m. because that's when the merch line was going to open. And I didn't want, because I feel like once you get closer to business hours, that's when like things get a little bit more iffy on if you're allowed to just park somewhere basically overnight. But thankfully nearby there was this like strip club. I think they called it a gentleman's club, but it was 24 hours. And I was like, okay, so if the business is open 24 hours, then likely customers are allowed to park there for however long they want, as long as they want, wherever they want, because you're not like, it's just like open public parking for the business, and they're not going to just sort of like check that every person who parks there is 100% in the business, because also it's a strip club and you don't want to get people in trouble with their wives. That was my logic. So I was like, okay, I'll just park here and I'll park close to the street away from the business, so like even if it is a problem, I'm not like taking up space by the business. I don't look that suspicious. In theory, maybe it's a little bit more suspicious to be parking very far away from the business and closer to the street side and clearly not walking anywhere towards the business. But that's what I did. I thought that was the best option. I also had very smartly prepared my outfit because in Vegas, it is so cold in the evening, but then the second the sun rises, it's hot as fuck. So I was wearing like a sweatshirt with a tank top underneath it and then like sweatpants with shorts under them, because I was like, I'm going to be cold right now, but then soon it's going to get so hot. And I was very correct. So I had gotten in line. It was probably like 4 a.m. at this point. So I'd been out for like 2 hours trying to figure all this out. And there were already maybe about like 100 or so people in line. Here's the photo of that. And then I had sat there and I was like listening to podcasts on my phone and eating my food, which at this point was very cold. So it wasn't that good. And I sat there for 6 hours. 6 hours, and it was truly miserable. Mostly because, one, I was there by myself. I feel like if I was there with other people, it would be less miserable, but I was so fucking cold. I was so cold. I was wearing all these layers, and I was still, like, freezing. So I was absolutely freezing cold, and also deliriously tired, because at this point, it's like 4 a.m. I had been up for maybe about 22 hours, and I have not slept, and I've barely eaten. So I'm not doing well. And I'm getting like these weird like half micro sleeps, because I was like, well, if I'm gonna be here for 6 hours, I might as well try and take a nap. But it's like really hard to take a nap when you are absolutely cold and also sitting in a stool chair that doesn't really that's not 100% comfortable. So I wasn't thriving, but I was like, this is what I'm willing to do for BTS, even though the merch is not 100% what I wanted. Especially because I was on my Stan Twitter account and people were like, hey, if you go and you get merch for me, I'll pay you back. And I was like, well, I'll try and be kind. I'll get some merch for some people. Which ended up really not working out that well because the people who I had gotten merch for were just really bad at communicating how to get the merch to them. And I was like, I can resell this on Mercari if you don't want to buy it. But I had basically committed to these people and to myself that I was going to be here for merch. Like, what is the point of being here a whole day early if I'm not going to get this merch? So I had sat there in the cold and then very quickly in the very hot for 6 hours. And I was so exhausted because I couldn't really sleep. I think I fell asleep for maybe like 10 to 15 minutes at a time, like a horse. It was truly miserable. And then there were people who, like, as around the time the sun rose, there were like a lot of people like walking up and down the street as like more people started to wake up and go about their day. And Namjoon said on day 4 that he had like this fun little habit routine of jogging around the stadium around sunrise, and nobody knew who he was. I am almost 100% sure, because I had clocked it in my subconscious when I was half asleep, sitting there, that there was a man jogging by me, and I was like, who would go jogging at this time? It's barely like 7 a.m. That was 100% Kim Namjoon. 100%. 100%. I know for a fact that was that man. I didn't see his face. I only saw his legs. But I'm almost certain that was that man. But also the fact that he would jog past a whole group of people clearly waiting for merch is a little bit dangerous. And I don't 100% think he would do that, but I'm telling myself that it was Kim Namjoon. Point is, 9 o'clock rolls around. They finally move us into the actual line of the merch. Because we were just sort of waiting on the street. Just waiting to be let in for the merch line. And then they split the merch line into main merch booth or album merch booth. Again, I don't understand why people are buying all these albums. I think because when you buy the albums, you get like the lucky photo card pull, but people are buying like thousands of dollars worth of albums. So that's like hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in albums that they then just give away. Which is the most mind-blowing thing, that like people will buy like 10, 20 albums just to get these photo cards and then just give the albums away. I don't understand it, and I don't have that kind of disposable income. So I don't buy albums there. I don't care about photo cards that much, but I definitely was going to go to the main merch booth because that's what I wanted. And the way that they wove us in just took so long. I think we were walking for genuinely like 15, 20 minutes. Or at least that's what it felt like. Time doesn't feel real when you are that delirious. I don't understand why it took so long, because they had to weave us through like every single little line thing that they had, and it just took forever to get to the front of the line where we could just wait and sit back down again. We finally get to the actual waiting line part, where it's like maybe 9:20, 9:30 at this point. I'm like, okay, we have another 30 minutes until the merch line opens, so I'm just gonna go sit back down. And they started handing out like the pieces of paper with all like the merch items on them, and I start writing down what I want. It's not until like 10:05, 10:10 that the line actually starts moving, and then I don't get to ordering my merch until like 10:30, which is generally fine. It's shorter than like other people would have been waiting like in the full Nevada heat. But at this point, again, I have been up for over 24 hours and I've barely eaten, and I'm not doing well. I'm very tired, and I'm just not 100% on my A game. But I do believe, because I am a 5-time Sagittarius, that being on an adventure, really pushing my body to the limit, I'm able to handle it. I think my body is able, after a certain point of being tired, and it realizes that we're on the move and we're doing things, it stops telling me that I'm tired and it just pushes through. Because I think at this point I just stopped feeling tired. Because I had ordered my merch. That took genuinely like 10 minutes for the guy to like figure out where all the merch was. It seemed like the merch booths are never well organized. I feel like nobody at the merch tents ever really know where the merch is or what the merch is, so that when you're asking for it, they don't know what to look for, so it takes like forever for them to find the merch. I don't necessarily think that that's their fault, because there's a lot of different merch, and if you're just sort of an employee, I get it, but also like that's why the merch line takes so fucking long, because it takes 10 minutes to find all of the merch that you want. But I get my merch eventually. Again, they're doing this weird thing where they're like, no, you cannot take the items out of the bag so you can see how big they are. And I'm like, some of us are tall, some of us don't fit normal small Asian sizing that BTS loves to manufacture their merch in. So what's the point of us buying merch in person? Because all of this merch was available online. what is the point of buying merch in person if you can't see if it's actually going to fit before you buy it? Because that seems like the whole draw of buying something in person, yes? But they're weird, and they're like, no, you can't do that. But the guy, because he took so long to find all my merch, he was like, yeah, you can take this out of the bag. Because I was going to buy the anorak. It's sort of like a windbreaker jacket, and I was like, I can't tell if it's big enough. Especially because they don't do, like, refunds or exchanges at the merch tents, which doesn't make any sense, because I'm like, okay, so you can't look at the merch before you buy it. And then if you buy it and you find out it's the wrong size or it doesn't fit you, you can't return it. You just have to own something that doesn't fit. I think that's fucking stupid. But the jacket ended up fitting. I just sort of held it up to me and it looked great. And then once I actually tried it on at the hotel, it fit perfectly. I'm so happy with that purchase. It's probably the best thing that I bought. It made me so happy to have. I also bought a couple of other things. I'm going to do a full merch haul later because I do not have the time right now because I'm already running out of time and I haven't even gotten to day one. But I had gotten all my merch. I also brought my backpack with me because I was like, I know I'm going to run out of space to like hold and carry all my merch. I even ran out of space in my backpack along with the bag that comes in my stool. It was just a whole thing. I had so much merch. I go through that line and then I get into the secondary line to get their theme/retro merch. Again, I did not like the retro merch. I didn't like it in LA and I don't like it now, especially because it's all solo member merch. There's not like one for all of BTS. It's like one for each member, and I'm like, I can't make a decision like that, so I just don't get it. It's also not that cute. They were also selling merch on this tour from like the Love Yourself or the Speak Yourself tour, which was in like 2019, and I'm like, you're selling off your Map of the Soul tour merch, which that I understand because that's a tour that never happened. You probably manufactured all this merch and you want to get rid of it. But the Speak Yourself tour, that was like 3 years ago. And that being said, some of it was really cute. My mother wanted a shirt and I bought it for her. And also there was, at the end of the tent, they had like a bucket hat and like a DIY like bead bracelet. I bought the DIY bead bracelet, but I was like, can I fit the bucket hat? Because there were the people like who were like selling the merch, and I was like, how big is the bucket hat? Will it fit me? And this lady, this snarky lady who was not my cashier, wanted to pipe up and be like, oh, it's gonna fit. And I'm like, you say that with so much confidence. Like, I would be asking this question if I haven't had issues with hats not fitting in the past. If I knew that this hat was going to fit me, because most hats fit me, then I wouldn't ask that fucking question. But obviously, most hats don't fit me, just like most clothes don't fit me. That's why I'm asking this question. Thankfully, my cashier wasn't stupid, and he like tried to like get a piece of paper to measure how big the hat was and then measure how big my head was, and he was like, it might fit, it just might be a bit snug. And I was like, well, we're not gonna spend $35 on a hat that might not fit because there's no refunds or exchanges. So I did not end up getting that hat. But it's truly the audacity of that woman to be like, oh, it'll fit. No, it's not. Also, like, I don't want to spend, what if it doesn't? You're not going to give me a refund for it? That's $35. It's just, it really annoys me the way that those merch tents are set up, and I understand it's like not their fault as the cashiers. It's just sort of like probably the rules that Hyde put in, but it's so annoying to me that you can't see if things are going to fit before you buy them. Regardless, that's not how my day ends, because I had made the very, very silly decision of getting tickets for the pop-up exhibit that afternoon. Because I was like, well, I'm going to be awake on Thursday anyways. Might as well get tickets for Thursday for the pop-up exhibit. I did not anticipate at that time how tired I was going to be. Because I had thought, oh, I'm going to be sleeping in Wednesday, and then I would be fine. Not that I would be running on 5 hours of sleep now at 28 hours into being awake. But I also at this point, I think because my body was truly like pushing through it and in fight or flight mode, I was not tired. So when I got back to my hotel with all of my merch, I was like, I could sleep or I could not sleep. Also, I was very worried that if I went to sleep, I would not wake up. Not like in a dead sort of way, but when my body is tired and it wants to sleep, it will sleep through any fucking alarm. It will sleep through an earthquake. It will sleep through a tornado. It'll sleep through actively being murdered. Like, my body, if it wants to be asleep, it will sleep. So I was like, if I put my body into rest mode, it's not waking back up. A body in motion stays in motion. Einstein was right. So I was like, if I go to sleep now, I'm not going to wake back up in time for my appointment. Because at this point, it was like noon. And my reservation for the pop-up exhibit was at 3 p.m. So I was like, I could sleep for maybe an hour, and I think it would just make it worse. So I truly just stayed up that whole time. I was on Twitter, and then I left my hotel and I went to the exhibit. This is not the pop-up merch like area with the photo ops and stuff. I go to that later the next day. But I went to the exhibit This exhibit was so lame. I cannot stress enough that this was not worth like the $42 that I spent on it. I spent like extra money to get like the postcard set because I wanted like the cute little merch stuff. But oh my god, it was so dumb. It was just a room full of photos of them, which arguably can just be seen online from other people's photos of them that they put on Twitter. Also, they could have just released these photos like in like a slideshow online, and you would have had the exact same experience. There was nothing gained from seeing these photos physically in person, especially since a lot of the photos are behind like a glass like paneling, and because of all the weird like strobe colored lights that they have everywhere, it is impossible to get good photos of these because the light reflects off the glass in a way that creates such a strong glare that you can't take photos of them. Even though they say that you're allowed to take photos in there, physically being able to take a good photo is very hard. Also, they have videos playing on the wall, which I would think, oh cool, but you're not allowed to take video or audio recording of them. Also, it's clear that when you put your ear up to the videos, because I wanted to be like, are they playing sound? There's sound to these videos, but they're overhead playing, I think it was just permission to dance over and over again. So loud that you can't hear any of the videos on the wall. So I was like, what is the point of this? This feels dumb. I paid $42 for that. And it was 100% not worth it. Especially since the pop-up exhibit, the free one across the street, was actively cool and a good, enjoyable time. That one should have been paid. This one should have been free. Because you're just looking at photos of them on the wall. And it's not even like a, ooh, never before seen. I think they are, but like, it's nothing like, oh, I didn't know that this happened. It's just photos of them like in rehearsal. Like nothing really that like cool or like out of the ordinary. It was very lame. And especially because, again, I was going by myself, it's really hard to get good photos of yourself in these exhibits. So sometimes you just have to hand the photo off to somebody else and just hope that they take a good photo. And absolutely one person on this trip by myself took a good photo of me. And I really miss her, and I've completely forgotten her name, and I'm very sorry. But she was really cool. She was there with her cousin and her cousin's friend, and they were just cool people, and we had a really good conversation. But that's on day 2. So a lot of the photos of me on this trip from week 1 are just bad because people don't take good photos of you. Especially since, again, I've said this before, I'll say it 1,000 times. People who are shorter than me, which is most people, take a photo of me from a low angle. So it's never going to be good. You're already starting off at a disadvantage because you want the angle to be high so that you have like a good like angle of your face and how you looked. But if everything's coming at me from a low angle because that's just how tall people are, it's not going to be good. But regardless, there are photos of me from this exhibit. The exhibit, lame as fuck. What is cool though is their like bar hangout area outside of the exhibit, which you're not allowed to go to if you don't have a ticket to the exhibit, which like I guess because you want people to go to the exhibit, but also like there's no re-entry once you exit the exhibit. So I'm like, why can't you just go to this outside bar area free of charge? Because there's nothing out there that's really like exclusive. It's just like a lot of outside seating, and then they're playing like BTS music videos on this big screen, which I did sit there for 3 hours and watch. It was a very enjoyable time. And there were like drinks at the bar, and I just got a water bottle because I did not bring my water bottle with me, which was a big oversight in my mind because I needed to have a water bottle that kept things cold because my hotel room didn't have any like a refrigerator or anything, so all my water was like super warm, and I kept trying to keep it on ice, and the ice would just melt, and it wasn't good. So I bought this water bottle. It's reusable. It's like $8, which is so dumb because they sell the same water bottle at the pop-up like merch stand across the street, but they don't have any like water refill stations at the merch stand, so you have to go back across the street to the exhibit to fill up your water bottle. It's so dumb. And it's not just like a regular plastic water bottle that, oh, you could fill up or you could buy another one. This water bottle is $8 because it's specifically designed to be reusable so that you refill it. But there's no water refill stations at the pop-up merch stands. It's so dumb. But I did I spent 3 hours going through the pop-up exhibit because I was like, I'm going to get my money's worth if I'm going to look at every single thing. If I'm bought this ticket for $42 fucking dollars. But I also spent 3 hours just sitting outside watching BTS music videos, which was really cool and fun. I'm a little bit upset because they added more music videos to the list that they were playing. They only played like 5 or 6 when I was there, but like I could hear when I went back to the pop-up merch stand in like week 2 that they added more music videos, and I'm like, I wanted to see more music videos because they played like Butter, Permission to Dance, Spring Day, Fake Love, and I think one more. And like I just watched those truly on repeat for 3 hours. It was a wonderful experience, especially because the sun was just setting, so I was able to get like a really nice tan. I just sat there just like being warm in the sun, really having a great, enjoyable time. Did not care that I was starving and running on literally no sleep, going on 36 hours of not sleeping, because I think at this point I just reached my peak and I was delirious and I was having a good, fun time. It was truly a beautiful and joyous experience. I would love to do something like that for my birthday that's coming up. I say coming up, like December is anytime soon. But, and that was a really nice time. And then because the pop-up was at Area 15, I was like, oh, I'm going to look around and like see what I want to do. Because I had deluded myself into thinking I could do something that evening. That evening I could go like, oh, to the strip and like watch a show or something. Like I had any sort of energy, like I shouldn't have just taken my ass to bed. But I was like, okay, I'll just like walk around and look a little bit, because I know that the Omega Mart, I had seen TikToks of it like years ago, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool, I would love to go. And literally when I had this opportunity to go, I was like, BTS is my number one priority. I cannot find the time in my schedule for it. But I walked around Area 15, I filmed this little clip. Yo, I was having like a really bad 3 days. And now I'm chilling. Now life is good. That's how mental illness be, I guess. It's like real bad, and then it dips. It'd be up and down. Well, life is good right now. It was a cute, fun time. Truly just like sort of being by myself. Yes, there are pros and cons to traveling with friends. You get people to take good photos of you, but I also just like love me time. It was really cute and fun. And then I was in my car deciding where I needed to eat for dinner, because I was like, at this point, again, because I think of that medication that I took, I was not hungry. I was not hungry, I think, once this whole trip, which really fucked me up, because I was like, I know I need to be eating, but I'm also just like not hungry, which is not good for you, not good for your body. I had gotten into my head that I wanted mac and cheese with breadcrumbs on it, because I was like, well, what's Las Vegas known for? You know, I went to Chicago, I got deep dish pizza. I go to LA, I get like tacos or In-N-Out or something. And I'm like, well, what is Las Vegas known for? What should I be eating? And then I found this listicle, and all the places on the listicle were closed. But I got it into my head because I saw it on the thing that like, oh, I want Italian food. And there was one Italian place open. I completely forgot what it's called. It wasn't even in Vegas. It was in Paradise. And I just ordered it for pickup on Postmates because I did not want to have to like go inside and like sit down and eat, because it was a really fancy restaurant. I think it had like a whole dress code and everything. And I was like, that's not worth it. But I got gnocchi and cheesecake, and I was like, that's it, and I'll just be fine. And I brought it back to my hotel room and I ate it, and it was so good. And then I went to sleep at like 11 o'clock, and that was just the first day that I was there, not even day 1 of the concert. I slept for I think 11 hours because I woke up at like 10 o'clock because granted, the people who were putting on like the pop-up exhibits and the pop-up merch stand for BTS had this like contest where if you entered, you could win early entry passes to the BTS merch pop-up, and I was like, oh, I'll enter it, and I ended up winning. I've never won anything in my entire life, so that was truly amazing. So I had to get to the merch stand at like 11, maybe 10 or 11 a.m. I think it was 11, in order to like get the early entry for the thing. And I did not want to do that because I wanted to sleep in, but I was like, okay, gotta just start the day. So I got dressed, I got up, and I went to the merch stand. Thankfully though, this was apparently like their press day, so they had let press in before everybody, so the line was being like delayed on when they could let people in. So I was like one of like the last people for early entry that was being let in. I got a cute little lanyard to be like, yes, I have early entry. And then I went straight to the merch stand, because the way that they had it set up before was when you enter, you could either go to the left to like their pop-up, like, not exhibit, because I don't want to get confused with like the photo pop-up exhibit, but they have like this walkthrough thing where there's like a bunch of like photo ops and stuff, or you could go straight to the merch stand. And I was like, I want to go straight to the merch stand because the merch is going to sell out, because the merch has been open since like Monday or Tuesday of this week, so we're already like 3 or 4 days into it. So by the time I got to the merch stand, a lot of the things that I wanted were already sold out, which was annoying, but it's okay because they kept restocking with different kinds of merch. That's what the lady who was working there told me, is that they were going to keep getting different pieces. So they weren't going to restock the items that were already there. They were just going to replace them with new items. So I was like, okay, so I have to just keep coming back. So I went, I think 6 times to the merch stand on like 6 different days to just see like what the merch situation was, to see if I wanted anything. And at the merch stand, unlike the main merch at Allegiant, they let you see what the sizes were for the items. They let you take it out of the bag and like check to see if it was big enough. And I was like, thank you. It just seems like such a simple, easy thing to do. So I really love this merch stand. Also, the girl who had checked me out, I never got her name. I probably should have got her name at some point, but she like had orange, like ginger, not like a natural ginger, like she had like dyed ginger hair, and she was just like so sweet and so nice. And I had seen her that first day, the second day that I went, and I saw her the second week when I came back. And she remembered me, and that was just so cool and so nice of her. I got so much merch there. It will all be in my merch haul, because I spent thousands of dollars on merch when I was there. I truly think that I could go on more of these trips if I just was able to limit my spending on merch, but also like BTS maybe just stop putting out good merch. Because I don't buy the ugly merch that I don't like. I don't buy like pickets and photo cards. I did buy the photo cards. I don't buy pickets and banners and t-shirts. I don't buy t-shirts. But like sometimes they have like a nice jacket or a hat, and I'm like, oh, well, I have to buy it. So got a lot at the merch stand, and then I did the true like walkthrough photo op event, and I'm so glad that I went week 1 because they changed it for week 2. In week 1, you were able to just like stop, take a photo. It made the lines like really long, but also like you made photo ops. I don't understand how they were upset that people were stopping to take photos, because like the line to get in was very long, because there was the whole, you know, from the Permission to Dance music video when Hobie's standing next to the sign with all like the city names on it, they have like a replica of that at the pop-up, and a lot of people wanted to like stop and take photos with it. But then they moved that to like the end of the line because they were like, oh, too many people are waiting and holding up getting into the exhibit. And I'm like, the line is gonna be long everywhere because people want to take photos. That's how lines and photo ops work. It just seemed weird because especially week 1, they let you take photos. I was there for maybe like 2 hours just like waiting in line to take photos of things. Again, people took photos of me and they were not that good. I will weed out the best ones and put them on my Instagram at some point if you care to check that out. But it just seemed very obvious to me that they made photo ops. Like, look at all these photos of them. Look at all the photos of the sets and stuff. They, like, basically recreated a lot of the music video sets. They recreated the elevator from Butter. They recreated, like, the vinyl shop from Dynamite. And I'm like, why would you make this if you don't want people to take photos? Because by week 2, when I went back, they would not let you take photos. They said, don't stop. You have to keep the line moving. We have to keep people going. Only videos, no photos. And like, even if you stop to like look at something, somebody in the room like that worked there would yell at you for stopping and like holding up the line. And I'm like, I want to look. You were like just pushed through so fast because they were just like upset that there was a line. And I'm like, you made this to be looked at. It's like a museum. Like, it's like being mad that people are stopping to look at things in a museum. It doesn't make any sense to me. It was weird. It was very weird of them. I think that the way that they designed it was silly. They designed it so that there's only one path to go around and look at things. I think it should have just been a very open area so that you could, like, go and look around and, like, move through the different zones as you wanted to. But, like, because there was only one way, if somebody was stopping to take a photo, like, everybody had to stop. But also, like, you made this. I don't know why they were upset about it. It was dumb. It was dumb, especially since also in week 2, you couldn't just skip the line and go straight to merch. Because when I went week 2 with my mother, which I will get to, because I'm trying to tell the story chronologically, you had to go, like, wait in line to go through the photo op area before you could get to the merch line. But you didn't have to go through the photo op area, which didn't make any sense. You just had to be in the line that led you to the entrance of the photo op area before you walk out. And I'm like, why? I just want to go to the merch stand. Because there's clearly people taking photos at the entrance. And I'm like, I'm just going to be blocking all their photos to, like, cut them off and to go to the merch. It was very dumb. I think that they were doing it so that they could handle the lines, but also, like, it just didn't make any sense to me. Because it seemed to make perfect sense in the first week, and then they just changed it, and then it made it worse. And I was like, why? It was just weird. But I got a lot of cute photos from the pop-up. I was very much anticipating that I was going to be able to take better photos for the second week, but that was not possible. But that's okay. That's okay. I went through all that. I saw the whole exhibit, and then I went back to my hotel to get ready for the concert. This is probably like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Concert's at 7:30. I know exactly what my outfit's going to be and has all these chains on it. And, like, a lot of people online were talking. There's this Twitter account that I follow. It's a pretty big Twitter account, so I don't want to call them out by name because they generally are good for the fandom and the community. But, like, they're just a little bit fucking annoying because they tweet about, like, the rules for the BTS concert. And then they take them so seriously. And, like, when people reply being like, well, I'm going to do whatever, they, like, respond really, like, snarkily being like, well, you can do whatever, you just need to be prepared for the consequences. And I'm like, there's clearly not going to be any consequences for this. Because, like, one of the rules that Big Hit has explicitly stated for the concert is that there's no video recording of any kind. Obviously, people are going to record videos. It's a concert. And, like, they would, like, tweet about that, like, it was such a big and important rule, like, that was going to be enforced. And, like, they seem to put it on the staff at SoFi for the fact that it wasn't enforced, but it also wasn't enforced at Allegiant because that's fucking stupid. You really think that somebody in security is going to walk to the middle seat in, like, the middle of, like, a 400 section and tell somebody to stop filming when everybody... No, that's obviously not gonna fucking happen. Use your common sense. Same thing with the prohibited items for Allegiant. The items that they put as prohibited on their website were different than the items that they were handing out on these cards. Because when you went to the merch stand, they handed you these cards of being like bag policy and prohibited items. Yes, on Allegiant's like general guidelines and on this card that they gave you, they said no chains. So people were really worried about like bringing outfits with like chains and stuff, and they would also email the customer representatives, and like people would get different answers. And clearly, people, I don't want to call people stupid because I don't think that like, I don't want to say that to like make people feel bad, like disparagingly. I don't want to say that like as an insult, even though it is insulting. But like people are really fucking stupid because like why do you think if you are getting different answers from the same customer service that you are going to go automatically with the worst answer? Because that doesn't make any sense. Clearly, if there is miscommunication between the customer service people, you are able to just do what you want. That's clearly what's going to happen. Because if there are people saying it's okay and people saying it's not okay, the people who say it's okay, you're going to find one of those people and you're just going to do what you want. Specifically, when it comes to the chains, there were many different answers about whether or not you could bring chains in. Because Allegiant Stadium Twitter specifically tweeted that about prohibited items, chains were not on that list. On the website about the BTS, prepare before you go, chains were not on the prohibited item list. It was only on the lists for the general Allegiant Stadium and this general card that they kept giving out. So this Twitter account and a bunch of other people kept tweeting being like, oh, well, there's a lot of misinformation about whether or not you can bring chains, so just be safe and don't bring them. And I'm like, my outfit depends on having chains in it. I'm gonna fucking wear this outfit and I'm going to go to the concert and it's going to be fine. Because obviously it's gonna be fucking fine. Because first of all, there is no information that you could have gotten prior to showing up that said you could not bring chains. Yes, you could have gotten this card from the people at the merch stand, but that implies that these people would have gone to the merch stand. It does not say anywhere online that you could not wear chains except for these customer service people that people have specifically sought out and asked. So if it's not a general policy that could have been accessed by anybody, it's not a rule, obviously. Like, if there's no way for me to find out this information unless I was on, like, deep BTS stan Twitter, there's no way they could enforce it because there's no way people could have known. Especially since if I'm showing up to the concert's at 7:30, I'm showing up at 7, you can't turn me around for a rule that you just made up. There was no way for me to know. They're not going to do that because that's fucking stupid. But because everybody else was worried about it, like me leaving for Vegas, it seeps into my subconscious, and I was like, well, there might be a chance that somebody's gonna be weird and not let me into the concert. But obviously I was fine. I got into the concert just fine. Because who cares? Because that's not a fucking rule. That shit just pissed me off. That shit pissed me off a lot. Because it just feels like a lot of like fear-mongering for rules that clearly are dumb and not going to be enforced. Because it might just be my ego. It might just be me thinking that I know better than everybody else. But like, obviously, if something is stupid, I'm not gonna listen. Like when I showed up for the second day of the concert and I was trying to get in through one of the entrances, and the guy was like, oh, you have to go to the entrance that's listed on your ticket. And I was like, well, the other day I literally didn't do that. And he was like, well, you can go try, but they might not let you in. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go try, thank you, goodbye. And then I got in. Because who cares? And then literally Allegiant Stadium tweeted for week 2, you don't have to go to the entrance listed on your ticket, just get in any entrance you can. It just, if I just hate when things are clearly dumb and people are enforcing rules or trying to enforce rules that don't make any fucking sense. That shit pissed me off. Anyways, I went to the concert and I had a good time. Here are all my videos from that. Parking was also really stressful for the show, though, because, again, I had planned to Uber, so I had not pre-bought any parking, and all the pre-bought parking was all sold out. Like, all the parking around the stadium was sold out, so I needed to just, like, find some parking last minute. I thankfully drove around enough so that I found, like, a hotel nearby that was selling parking, and I just gave her my card, and I paid, like, $40 for parking, and it was fine. And the walk... Las Vegas is such a nice, walkable city. It's so easy to walk between places. It's so hard, like, in LA to walk between places. You have to have a car. But Vegas, just walking anywhere is so nice and easy. But it was really stressful to try to find parking last minute because I couldn't find any to, like, pre-buy online. And also, the way that they have it set up is that you can't, like, drive wherever you want. There's a lot of, like, traffic police, like, directing people where, like, some roads are closed, some roads are one road only, or one lane only, so that when, like, you're trying to follow your Google Maps to, like, get somewhere, you can't go the route that they're telling you to go. So that was a little bit stressful, but I found parking, and I made it to the concert, and I didn't miss anything. This was also night one that started 40 minutes late because the screen was broken. So that was fun. Obviously not anyone's fault, but, like, I feel like it was just a little funny how I was really stressed about showing up to the concert late, and then the concert started 40 minutes late. But concert was great. They performed Home and Airplane Part 2 and Bepsay again. And again, I was the only person doing the fucking fan chant for Airplane Part 2. I don't get why fans don't want to learn the fan chant, because that's the thing that I was really thinking when I was, like, on my stan Twitter, is that there was, like, a lot of, like, fan projects of, like, doing things for the members, and I'm like, you know what you should be doing? Learning the fucking fan chants. But I feel like nobody wants to learn the fan chants these days. What's that Kim Kardashian quote? You have to get up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work anymore. Like, just fucking learn the fan chant. That's your fan project. Like, it's just weird to me. Like, every time they play Airplane Part 2, it feels like I'm the only one there that knows the fan chant. And it's really easy. I don't even know, like, I don't even do, like, the full fan chant. I just do the name part. I feel like that's such a simple and easy thing to do. Know when to say their names. Anyways, that was just weird to me. But the concert was great. Afterwards, somebody saw my outfit and they gave me a rose, and that really filled my ego. So I have a lot of photos of me in my outfit with a rose. Very iconic. And then I walked back to my car watching Namjoon's live. Also, a great plus about Las Vegas is that I was able to have service. As you remember, or as you know, if you watch my BTS LA video, there was no service around SoFi at all. It was horrible. You could not connect to anything anywhere. You couldn't connect to their Wi-Fi. You couldn't connect to, like, a mobile data. It was horrible. So when people were going live and you were just sitting in the parking lot, you couldn't watch it. But at Allegiant, service, incredible. I was able to watch all of Namjoon's live on the walk from Allegiant to my car, which was already incredible within itself, because if you know me, you know I do not know directions. So the fact that I was not able to, like, check on my phone which direction I was going, and I was fully going based off of my memory and based off of vibes on how to get back to my car, and I made it there with no problem, that was incredible. And I truly believe it was Namjoon who gave me that strength and that energy of direction of just knowing how to get back to my car. That was incredible and a great fun time. Also, the food at Allegiant was so good. The food at SoFi, trash. Disgusting, horrible. Those hot dogs, those chicken tenders, they were the worst, and they made me sad. But the food at Allegiant was, like, actual real good food, and I was very happy that I was able to eat. But I went back to my hotel. I went to bed. Day 2. I did not do anything day 2 because I knew I was going to come back next week with my mother. My mom was like, don't do everything there without me, because I wanted to wake up early and I wanted to go to the sponsor booths. But my mom was like, don't, because I want to be able to experience some things there with you, blah, 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 blah. This ends up being a lie, which we'll get to later. But, so I just didn't do really anything day 2. I went to the pop-up merch stand. But for the most part, I just chilled in my hotel. I chilled in my hotel, truly throughout the day. I went for breakfast to go get some Dunkin' Donuts. That was really nice, because we don't have any Dunkin' Donuts here. They have really good breakfast food, really good drinks. But truly just in the afternoon, I went to the pop-up merch stand to see if there was any new merch. There was. I bought some more merch. Then I went to the concert. I wore my butter outfit this time. And parking this time was extra stressful, because I just assumed that I could just go to the same parking lot that I went to last time and just pay them for parking. They were full this time. So I had to just go find somewhere else to have parking. And that was really upsetting because I was truly running out of time. Because I don't like, I one of these days I did really want to get to the concert early because I know that they play like the BTS music videos as you're just sitting there waiting, and I wanted to experience all of the music videos because usually I get there around the time they're playing like Dynamite, so I have about like 10ish minutes before the concert starts. But I don't like to cut it that close because I don't like to miss the opening numbers. Like people who show up to the concert like halfway through, it's insane because I'm like, I would never miss the opening. But yes, that parking was very stressful because then I had to drive all the way around, and there was a lot of traffic because a bunch of other cars were trying to find parking. I eventually found some place. It was like $50, which really pissed me off because as I was driving to the hotel that I had parked at before, I saw this parking place that said $20 parking. And I was like, no, I'm just gonna go to the same place I knew before because then I already know how to get to it from there. Then I had to park somewhere else. That was not fun. But I went, I enjoyed the concert. Here are some clips from that.
Are you ready for the next song?
I'm not ready. I need to hear Army scream for the next song. Should we get started? Let's go. Okay, let's go.
점점 넘어진 공기 뭐 있나요? 사랑한다. Love you. 나 할만하지 않았어. 감사합니다. Thank you.
This is the first time that I'd ever seen Go live, and I fucking lost my mind. As you can hear in that clip, I lost my fucking mind. Because it's one of my favorite songs ever, and when I saw the like live stream of them performing it in Seoul, I was like, oh my god, that must suck. To have to like sit down and be quiet and not be able to like lose your fucking mind to Go. They're one of their best songs. And then I got to experience that. That was incredible. I love Go. It's, oh my god, so good. We didn't get mic drop, which is a little bit disappointing because there was a whole photo of them and Steve Aoki backstage, like being like, hello, we're friends still, ha ha ha. But I thought because Steve Aoki was literally in Las Vegas at the exact same time that BTS was in Las Vegas, oh, we're gonna get a mic drop performance. There was no mic drop performance, which is just a little bit annoying. I feel like the set list for Las Vegas were not as good as the set list for LA. I feel like the set list for LA were ace. Every single one was different because I'm pretty sure the set list for day 1 and day 2 were the same as day 3 and day 4. Like, they didn't perform Microcosmos or Spring Day or anything. And I'm like, come on. Give us a different set list. But also, people were being weird and bad and throwing shit at them. And that stopped, like, around week 2 because they were like, please stop throwing shit at us. But also, like, I know your mama raised you in a barn, but around these parts we have some decorum. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? People who rush into the aisles to, like, get closer to them when they're on their carts and people who throw shit at them could not be me. I did it once for, in LA because everybody else was doing it and it felt very bad, and then I never did it again. Because it feels bad to do. It's not a good thing to do. You're not going to have your YN moment. First of all, you're not going to have your YN moment. Second of all, if you're a seasoned vet, you would know that YN is the girl who does not care. So the girls who are running up, you're not YN. YN doesn't care. YN is sitting and she's reading a book. But regardless, concert was very good. There were a lot of people throwing shit, and then there was no live afterwards, which did feel a little bit like a punishment. I feel like, because after LA, there was a live stream every single night. There was only a live stream, there were only 2 live streams during Vegas. And I think it's because they were upset that people kept throwing shit at them, which, like, rightfully so. Don't throw shit at them. I think week 1 was also the one where JK flashed his abs at everybody, which was absolutely insane. A thing that I think people know now, but that, like, did not come out originally because people were just filming the big main screen, but I could see him, like, with my physical eyes, I could see his physical body do it, is that when he saw the sign where he, like lifts up his shirt, he flashes his abs once, does it a second time for shits and giggles, turns around, sees that the camera didn't catch it, does it a third time. He did that 3 times because that man is a menace to society. A menace to society. Also, can we talk about their cart outfits? I hate them. I don't know what the fuck they were wearing because these were the worst ones. Because, like, you have their first ones for LA where they're all in, like, their beige outfits with, like, the little permission to dance, like, symbols on them. That one was cute. That one was fun. That one was so nice that I was about to do an outfit to recreate it, but I couldn't find a beige jumpsuit in time. And then they changed it for Seoul. And I didn't, like, love the change for Seoul because I really liked those LA outfits, but, like, they were all in plaid and it was, like, it was cute. It was different. And then they come out for Vegas and they're all just wearing, like, different clothes. Actually, the outfits that I'm talking about were actually for the original first Seoul Permission to Dance concert. That's the beige ones with the symbols. They did have, like, weirdly different outfits for LA. I completely forgot about them, so they probably weren't bad one way or the other, but they were not cohesive. And when I said plaid, I meant whatever bandana printing that's the pattern that's on bandanas is. So maybe the US just doesn't get good cohesive looks, who knows. And, like, why? It was weird because, like, I get that, like, they have their own individual styles, but they don't look cohesive at all. And, like, for the rest of the concert, they look cohesive. So I'm like, what are they wearing? They're all clearly, like, dressed for different things when they're on their carts. And, like, none of their outfits are bad individually, but, like, when they are doing this performance, they clearly need to have a cohesive group look. And they did not, and I didn't like that. It was truly the worst of the 3, and that was a little bit upsetting. I get back from the concert, I'm at my hotel, it is probably like 1 a.m.-ish, and I need to start packing because I have an 8 a.m. flight because it is Sunday and I need to work. I took the minimum amount of days off. I took Thursday, Friday, Saturday off because I absolutely had to catch the concert. But I was like, I need to literally be back to work so that I don't lose all my money on this 2-week trip that I'm taking. So I had to catch a very early flight the next morning, and it was not good because one, I had really strong post-concert depression after this, and I never get post-concert depression. And it's especially weird because like I knew that I was literally gonna be back next week. But I was just so sad. So fucking sad at the end of night 2. I don't know why, I don't know what it was, but I was just like, I don't want to leave. What if I just stay here forever? I don't want to have to go back. Maybe it's because I had to like work the next day, but it just, oh my god, the vibes were bad. I was very upset. And I knew I had to pack because I had packed nothing. And I was like, I could go to sleep and rest a little bit before this flight, or I could just like stay up, be sad, and pack but not pack, because I was like, okay, well I need to pack and then I can maybe go to sleep, because if I wake up and then pack, then that's just like bad idea. I like to pack and then be able to go to sleep. It's better for my mind. But it took me forever to pack because I was like, what if I just don't pack? What if I just sit here and I miss my flight and I stay here? Because Vegas just has such good vibes. I'm like, not to say that in like a hippie pretentious way, but it really does. Like, it's warm there. The people are just like so fucking nice, and I'm just like, the vibes here bad. Don't like the vibes here. But it was just so nice in Vegas, and I had such a good time. But that being said, I did almost miss this flight, which was not fun, because I had to go and return my rental car. And the way that it was set up, because the rental car place that I rented through was not one of the main rental car places. It's like an off-site one, because there's like a shuttle between the rental car depot and the airport, and then there's a secondary one for my rental car agency between the rental car depot and their location. So I had to like get all my stuff, get it into my car, and I left. My flight was at like 8, I think, and I left at like 5, I think, 5 or 6, which I probably maybe should have given myself more time, but I didn't think it was going to take this long. But I go and I drop off my car and I wait forever for the shuttle to take me to the rental car depot, and then I wait forever at the rental car depot to get to the airport. And especially because with Southwest, it says that you need to check in your bags like 40 minutes before your flight is scheduled to depart, or your bags might not get on the plane in time. And I got there exactly like 40 minutes before. Maybe my flight was at 7. Because I remember it being 6:20. My flight was at 7. Because I remember it said that, like, oh, you have to check in your bags, like, 40 minutes before the flight, blah, 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 blah. And it was 6:20, and I was like, it is literally 40 minutes before the flight. And that was just, like, a little bit annoying. And people were also just, like, taking so long to, like, get through the check-in line. Also, people just, like, again, not to be a raging bitch and be like, oh my god, everybody's so stupid and I'm better than everybody. But, like, people just, like, move with so much, like, hesitation. Like, I remember when I was getting off the airplane in Vegas when I had just landed, and nobody, like, knew where to go. And I'm like, read the signs and, like, move. Especially because people love to just stand in the middle of everything and be in the way and just, like, be like, I don't know where to go. Get the fuck out of the way then. Especially because there are very clear signs. Like, when I had gotten off the airplane, you have to take, like, this, like, train monorail thing to, like, the baggage claim area. I think a lot of airports have this. And nobody knew, like, where to go once we got off of the train. And I was like, just look up, look at the sign, and walk that way. I don't know what the whole hesitation thing is. I feel like it should just be quick, but people like to stand and just, like, look around. And I'm like, what? Go! Maybe it's, like, the whole stop and smell the roses thing that I've never really understood. But also just, like, I have places to be. And that was the exact same thing with getting to the airport this time. It's like, I have places to be. People were just taking so long getting off of the shuttle and, like, getting into line to, like, check in my bags. And I was like, go! Like, there were people in line ahead of me who were getting on the same flight as me, as I saw them as we were all, like, waiting at the gate together. And they were, like, ahead of me in the baggage check line. But I had gotten my tags for my check bag, put them on my check bags, gotten them to the attendant, and gotten up to security before the people ahead of me in line had even given their bags to the attendant. I'm like, what is so complicated? The check bags are free also. You just go 2 check bags. and you put it on your bag and you go. I don't know. I feel like I've also experienced this when I'm traveling with other people, which is why I really enjoy traveling by myself, because I don't want to say that I'm like more competent than other people, because in many aspects and in many areas of life I'm very dumb. But like when things don't make sense, you go figure it out. But I feel like there's a lot of people that when things like are confusing or don't go the way that they expect, they just sort of like freak out. And they're like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, figure it out. Go look it up. Or go read a sign. Or go ask somebody. Don't just stand here and be like, oh, I don't know what to do. Figure it out. I am a bitch. But also, if you're going to do that, just don't do it around me. Don't let it impact me. Because I don't do that. I go figure my shit out. And then I get in line to go through security. There's like a drug sniffing dog. That was weird. I'd never seen that before. They like put like the stick that was smoking on the ground, I guess, to like reset the dog. And then like they were like, you have to stand shoulder to shoulder, 2 people at a time, walk across, and then the dog would like smell you for drugs. It was very weird, especially since I did not see the dog the second time that I was leaving Vegas, so I don't know what that was about. But I go through security. Easy, fun, quick time. But also I am running late because I made it to the airport 40 minutes before my plane is supposed to take off. And then I get into line and security does not go quickly. And then I have to like basically run through the airport to get to my gate. It was already boarding by the time that I got there, but thankfully, or maybe not thankfully, I did not realize that when you check in for your Southwest flight, you need to check in again for your returning flight. I thought that like my boarding position for the first flight was the same for the second one. So I was thankfully one of the last people to board, which wasn't like ideal because I love getting a window seat, mostly because some people are dumb. I hate when people get window seats but then they leave to go use the restroom. If you know you're a person who's going to use the restroom, don't get a window seat. I've never once used the restroom on an airplane because I know to use it before or after getting off the plane. So I take the window seat because I don't want all these people to have to like scoot by me when I'm not going to move. That's annoying. But on my return flight, it was cool. It was fine. I sat next to this mom and her kid, and we were all asleep for the whole flight because, again, I was exhausted. It was 7 a.m., but I did it. I got off the plane. I got my stuff. I got picked up, went home, took a very short nap, then I went to work. Also, this was a Sunday. I usually don't work Monday, Tuesdays, but because I was going to be home and I knew that I needed to make up some time for all the time I was going to take off these next 2 weeks, I said, if you need me to work Monday, Tuesday, let me know. Again, hoping that they weren't going to call me in, especially because that Sunday when I had gotten to work and I was just sort of like sitting on my computer as I usually do, I think all the adrenaline and all of like the Sagittarius energy from that trip really left my body and I was ruined. As I explained, didn't really sleep, didn't really eat. And as we know, Sam's immune system is not the strongest. So that really lends itself to getting sick. So Sunday through like Friday, I had a cold, which was not good, not fun. Definitely not COVID. Want to make that clear, I did not have COVID, but I did have a cold and I did have to show up for work. I felt awful. Like, it was one of those head colds where I'm, like, really congested and really tired and, like, cold. The symptoms did gradually get better throughout the days because I was like, okay, well, I need to eat and I need to sleep. And I was trying to treat my body well because I was like, I am not missing the BTS concerts next week. So I did everything in my power in order to make sure that, like, my body was, like, recovering and recuperating. But it was very funny because truly Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I had to work, which I was not anticipating because I was supposed to be like resting and sleeping. And I really wish I was able to rest and sleep Monday, Tuesday, but also getting money is important, I guess. But for those 4 days, I felt like shit. I was so not with it. And I was so exhausted and feeling so bad. And I was like, I just want to go to bed. I just want to go to bed. But thankfully, by like Thursday, Friday, I was all better. Like, truly, only the 4 days that I had to work was I really feeling the symptoms of having a cold, which truly felt very... I literally got cut off because my phone ran out of storage. That's the perfect sign that I needed. But as I was saying, I'm glad that Thursday, Friday I was feeling better because Thursday night I had my second flight out to Vegas. This video is already very long. I was hoping that I was going to be able to fit this whole trip into this video, and I sadly was not. Again, I would have put out this just the first week video a while ago if I was able to film it in between week 1 and week 2, but again, I was very sick, and I was focusing on resting and treating my body well so that week 2 was going to be good, and it was. And that video will come out next week, but it just feels like the perfect time to end this here, and I'll talk about week 2 in week 2 of May. So if you want to hear about Cafe in the City, the Bellagio fountains, the sponsor booths, I'm going to talk about all of that next week. And then I guess the merch video will come out the week after. So May is just going to be a big BTS month, all leading up to their new album coming out June 10th. Go pre-order it right now.